Our next shape is a trapezoid, which is a quadrilateral, so it's a four-sided figure, and it has one pair of parallel sides. So how we get a trapezoid, or when we look for the area, what we're looking for is that we start with a parallelogram, okay, which is a quadrilateral with two pairs of parallel sides. Now, the area of a parallelogram is the base times the height, where again the height is perpendicular to your base, okay? Now, I've divided my bases into two parts, so I have the first part and the second part. If I cut along and divide this parallelogram between those bases, I end up with two congruent trapezoids, okay? So this is where the area formula for a trapezoid comes from, because the area of this parallelogram was base times height. Well, one trapezoid is half of that parallelogram. But if you notice, the base was two parts, okay? That together, the base of this parallelogram, let me get it situated right, was base 1 and base 2, okay? I have these 1 and my 2 to show that these are different numbers. This is not the same distance as this, okay? You have to use both of these. Both of those were part of that original base, all right? These have no significance on the number. It's just you have to use different numbers. This does not mean you have to square it, and this just means it's to the first power, okay? Powers go to the top. So base sub 1, base sub 2, just that you have one base and a second base. So your area formula for a trapezoid is 1/2 the height times the sum of the bases. Okay? So if we look at a trapezoid, and let's say, I'm going to say this is an isosceles trapezoid. So it'll look like an isosceles triangle with the top cut off, where this side is 4, these are 5, and this side is 7, and we'll say these are all inches. And this distance is, let's say, 3. Okay? So to find the area of this formula, so I'm going to sub these numbers in. The height always has to be between the two bases, okay? So it's how far apart are those two parallel lines? So going back here, perpendicular to it, we're looking for that again. The height is going to be 3. So I have 1/2 times 3 times the sum of my bases. Which two lines are parallel here? That's my 4 and my 7. So those two numbers are what are in my parentheses. Now, order of operations, we have to do the parentheses first. So you have 1/2 times 3 times 7 plus 4 is 13. I did choose all odd numbers. So I'm going to use my calculator if I can find it here. So 1/2 times 3 times 13 tells me that the area is 19 5/10. And again, we're talking about area, so it's units squared. So it's square inches. So now, let's see if you can find the area of this trapezoid. We'll do feet. When you're ready, go ahead and turn it on and we'll check you. So, area formula, start by writing that out, is 1/2 times the height times the sum of the bases. So in this instance, my height is 2, So I have 1/2 times 2 times the sum of my bases. Those are my two parallel lines. So I want to take 4 5/10 plus 7. So doing order of operations first, the sum would be 413 5/10 times 2 1/2. Well, this just gives me 1. So my area is 13 5/10 feet squared.